Hey everybody, this is Andrew here. It is currently day 52 post-surgery for me. I'm sitting out here in my backyard, got the fireplace going, got my beer, got the National League Championship Series on in the background. Braves are blowing it, but what else is new? That's normal. 52 days ago I had surgery. Thought I would do a little update. Wasn't planning on doing one today, but just had a development or realization that made me think that maybe I should. I had my 6-week review with my doctor last week. Everything is looking good. He's pleased at how well I have progressed. I have got on shoes, as you can see, shoes and socks. Amazing. I am now back to full weight bearing, totally off the crutches. I've been off the crutches for a little over a week and a half now, and things are going all right. They're going well enough to where I'm quite surprised at how well they're going, to be honest. I'd heard that the recovery from the surgery was non-linear. I've read many reports of people having 2 days forward, 1 day back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 1 good day, 2 bad days, etc. For me, it has been pleasingly linear. My hip is not nearly as tight as it was the last time I made a video. I obviously able to put full weight on it. Still gets a little sore sometimes, but I am back almost to a full normal gait. When I explained this to my doctor the other day, he was obviously pleased to hear that, and he told me that one of the contributing factors that he thinks might be having my recovery more linear than others that I've described is the approach that he took in the surgery to the hip capsule. The capsule is a layer of ligaments that surround the hip joint, and for the hip arthroscopy, the doctor has to cut through the hip capsule, effectively opening it up. For many years after this surgery was first developed, it was thought that the best approach to the hip capsule was to just leave it be after cutting through it, because it's made of tissue, and the tissue grows back, it'll heal on its own. Lately, the thought is having the surgeon repair the capsule on the way out when they're done with everything else. Doesn't make the recovery any different in the long term, but that it contributes to better hip stability and a less herky-jerky recovery. So again, I'm my own patient. I'm different from everybody else. Everyone's experience is going to be slightly varied. But Dr. Whitfield said that he thought that repairing the capsule is something that helps the recovery go a little bit more smoothly. That was one of the things that one of the doctors that I got a second opinion from prior to surgery recommended that I ask of Dr. Whitfield regarding what his plan was. So that's something you might want to consider discussing with your surgeon when you're considering for surgeries, asking what are his or her plans on how to treat the hip capsule. Do they plan to repair it on the way out, or just leave it be and let it heal on its own? Today was a big day. I didn't really expect it to be, but it ended up being so. I was on my feet for a lot of the day today. I am currently almost at 20,000 steps. I've been wearing my Garmin 920 XT basically since day 4 or 5 post-surgery. When I was on crutches, 10% weight bearing, I was getting about between 800 and 1,500 steps a day, which is not moving much at all. As I slowly added weight back on, I would slowly increase the amount I could move, 2,000 up to 3,000 steps. I had been clearing 8 to 10,000 ever since getting off the crutches. Today, I worked at a poll. It's voting season here in the U.S., and if you happen to be in the U.S. and watching this, and it's still October, early November, get out and vote, please. I worked as a volunteer today. Didn't really know what to expect in terms of how my hip would behave. I've ended up being pleasantly surprised at how much I was able to move around, getting up and down, sitting down on occasion. It hardly got sore at all. I anticipate that my hip flexors are going to be sore tomorrow, just because they got a lot more work than they've been getting the last couple of days. But again, 20,000 steps, plus doing my PT in the morning. I made sure to get my stretches in before I went to do my volunteer shift at the polls, and it worked out nicely. Right now, I've got the fire going. I tried to build one of these fires in my fire pit about 2 weeks ago before I'd fully gotten off crutches, and it ended up being a comedy of errors. This is my first real fire in a good while. So I'm just sitting here watching the Braves screw up with the sound off and behind me, and drinking a beer, letting the fire burn, recovering from a decent day. We've made some good progress. I'm going to keep going, keep doing the physical therapy, and hopefully in a couple of weeks when I make another one of these videos, I'll have progressed even more. So cheers to everybody. Get out and vote. Have a good evening.